Everybody. See, InvITs, REITs have started this in 1965 in the US. India is almost about 5 decades behind. This has been a major funding driver in the infrastructure area for the countries like America and the Western countries, where the funding has been provided and commune ownership has helped the sectors to grow. So India started the regulation into REIT and InvIT in 2014. The major roadblock was that shifting of assets into REITs and InvITs involved a lot of tax and very complex methods, which were simplified by 2015 in the budget. So it has been 6 years, but still we have very few InvITs and REITs listed in our whole industry, if you'll see, because the regulations are being rectified and improved, and people are also in the way of being mature enough to invest into this, trying to learn and invest, because it's a hybrid instrument, it's a new instrument where people are used to equity or debt, and now they are learning about this. Last year in the budget, the finance minister took about half an hour on InvITs, trying to explain the importance of InvIT as an investment instrument and the importance of InvIT for the country. So it has both benefits for the country and for the investor. See, basically infra assets are large investments and long-term investments where they generate revenue for long-term. So small people, for owning infra assets, the methodologies were very limited. So InvIT gives an opportunity for large variety and different numbers of investors to come together to invest in a project. So one project, once it's shifted to the InvIT, it gets owned by multiple number of investors, which is a very good opportunity for people to invest in an instrument like this. When SEBI has designed this whole structure for InvIT and REITs, they have kept in mind the investor security, the system, because it's a new structure. So it has been designed very well, where they have taken care that, you know, the leverage is limited, as you also mentioned, that you cannot go above 49% or AAA rating. If you don't have, you cannot go. So you have your assets and your income generation capability have to be so good, so you are able to service the investors who have invested, right? So they have taken care of that. Then all the money that comes into these trusts, which are InvITs, is all escrowed and all managed through an independent board, where you have to have more than 50% independent board. So what SEBI has done, or the government, I would say overall, has really provided a very good regulation in the form of our InvIT and REIT regulation, where investment care has been taken for the investors also. So it provides a very good advantage for investment and creates another alternative asset class, because in India we have equity or we have debt. So this has created another hybrid asset class where you have majority of the income which is almost predictable, and there is a very small percentage of income which is non-predictable. So it falls between equity and debt, more towards debt. So, you know, if once the investment starts coming into the InvITs, all the infra development, because India is a developing country, we are needing more development. We need more transmission lines, we need more roads, we need more ports. Every area of infrastructure is under development at the moment. So if the funding can be provided by the developer after completing of the project, because the project might take few years to build, but the operating cycle of the project is few decades. It's 10 years, 20 years, 15 years. So whatever income that project earns over that period is under the commune ownership, whoever are owning. India as a country has very you have 2 lakh crore rupees of HAM project coming up, and few lakh crore rupees of port projects, solar projects. So there is huge amount of infra spending happening. So there is scalability possibility of InvITs into about $100 billion. So there's a lot of opportunity coming in. Government, while devising the whole InvIT structure, has given tax advantages. In the main, they are not double taxing anything. Whatever is the income, where it is moved, it is only taxed once. So the government has provided proper tax pass-through system in the InvIT. So there is no double taxation within the whole system of distribution of earning until the hand of unit holders. If you see today in the REIT and the InvIT space, the majority of the investment today is from all the big pension funds of the world, from CPPIP, CDPQ, GIP, Alliance, Government of Singapore, OMOS. Why are they investing? They know that for a long-term investment, these instruments are the best instruments to invest, because finally, most of the projects are PPP projects. PPP project means they are part private ownership and part government ownership. So once government ownership even comes it into some part of the project, their project is going to definitely earn and pay its money, because it is backed almost by a sovereign behind it. So they are understanding that part of it, which slowly are investors in India, because today the total Indian ownership of the units of InvIT and REIT are not more than 20%. 80% is owned by foreign investments. India investments have to wake up to invest into this, because it is a very, very secure and a long-term investment strategy. While you are talking of investment, these are all PPP model based, which I mentioned just now. They carry low risk. So when SPV enters into an agreement with the government, like NHAI, MORTH Authority, so specific budgets are allocated. So fund revenues are almost protected. In some cases, projects where transmission lines, HAM projects, NUT projects, where it is 100% predictable. In toll, it is about 90% predictable. So most of the revenues of InvITs are predictable revenues. So you would have a long-term return on your money, which is much higher than all the debt instruments the way we are having today in India. As per when the regulation has been made, SEBI has made sure that the 90% of the income is distributed to the investors. InvIT is a little complex structure, because the investor gets income in three formats: one as the interest, one as dividend, and one as the return of capital. That's the major difference between InvIT and REITs, where InvITs you get the return of your capital also. In REITs, you hold the asset, which is like a building or something. So InvIT, you get your return of capital also back. So there are three ways where your income comes in. InvITs with fixed revenues from annuities are a little more attractive, but even in the toll and other things, almost all the revenues, 80 to 90% are almost predictable. And secondly, in our journey, I would say is that when we have done our InvIT, we have gone through the cycle, understood the process. We got AAA rating for all our projects when we did it InvIT. If we had done only at the SPV level, it would have been not more than AA. So pooling of assets and pooling of investors brings a synergy on both sides. It allows a reduction in cost of bank debt. It allows more return for the investor, because if pooling of assets has happened and you have got a AAA rating, cost of fund goes down, then whatever the leverage you have taken. So it gives that. And InvIT, one more major in an infra project, when a person invests, it's a long-term investment. But if you are investing through the route of InvIT, what happens is you can exit anytime and enter anytime. So it gives investor a very big flexibility, because they are listed instruments. You can sell your investment, keep it for whatever time you want. So this type of flexibility for general public, corporates, provident funds, everybody to invest till the time they want in an infra project is really, really very good. I'm very hopeful that in next decade, we would have more than $100 billion of InvITs running in this country, and which will help fuel the infra growth also in the country. I hope I've been able to provide a little information about from my thinking on the InvIT structure.